What's up, everybody? Robot Toilet here, and today is... I'm just kidding, guys. It's just me. It's just me behind the armor stand. Anyways, what's up, everyone? Toilet here. Welcome back to another mega modded Minecraft series. This is episode 11. Thank you guys so much for your support on the last video. You guys blew that video up, and you guys are absolutely amazing. In this episode, though, the reason I have this armor stand here with a full suit of mecha armor is because this is what we are going to be working towards in this episode. Now, we're starting in my creative world because I want to show you guys the process of which we obtain everything for the mecha suit. We need HDPE sheets, polonium pellets, and then basic induction cells. Let's start off with something easy. For the basic induction cell, we need lithium dust. Lithium dust comes from these two machines right here, the thermal evaporation plant. This first one gets in water from the side and makes brine with solar power. Then that brine is put into another one, which is then evaporated into liquid lithium. Liquid lithium then can go through the process of being decondensated into regular lithium, and then can go into the chemical crystallizer to make lithium dust. That's how we get that. These machines are all going to be working together to get me both HDPE. This one is the HDPE pellet thing. This works by using electrolytic separator, separating water into hydrogen and oxygen. The oxygen then gets fed into this pressurized reaction chamber. The oxygen then gets put into this pressurized reaction chamber, which takes water and biofuel, which is made from this crusher, and it's made into substrate. Now, the substrate is what makes the HDPE pellet. Now, this liquid ethylene also comes from substrate. This turns into ethylene, and then the rotary condensator takes that and puts it into liquid ethylene, and then forces that into here to give me my HDPE pellets. Easy enough, right? Sounds absolutely amazing. This machine here, if you guys know Mekanism, you guys are familiar with both of these. This is the Fission Reactor and the Industrial Turbine. What the Fission Reactor needs to give me for the mecha suit is the nuclear waste, which is radioactive, but we could deal with that. We need water and then polonium. Polonium is made in the solar neutron activator with nuclear waste and polonium. And to make my nuclear waste, we are using water and fissile fuel. Where does the fissile fuel come from? It comes over from there, but we'll get to that. This is my industrial turbine. The reactor produces steam, and the steam goes into here to then generate a bunch of power and water, and then the water flows back into here, basically making a closed loop. The only problem with this makes a crap ton of power. I don't need that much power right now, and once this fills up with power, it stops working. We don't want that, because once this stops working, all this water is going to go away, and this overheats, and I don't want this to explode. No. That would be very, very bad. And yes, it can explode. I've seen it happen. So I am just funneling the excess power into these ultimate trash cans. To make fissile fuel is going to be this insane machinery going on right here. Fissile fuel is going to come out of here and then feed into the reactor. Let's start over here. We have uranium ingots. Uranium ingots go into this enrichment chamber to make yellow cake uranium. Yellow cake uranium is then put into the chemical oxidizer to make uranium oxide. And that, mixed with hydrofluoric acid, is what makes the fissile fuel. How do we make hydrofluoric acid, you ask? Well, if we come over here, we have sulfur dust, which goes into this chemical oxidizer, which then makes sulfur dioxide. And then over here, we have water being separated into hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen is just dumping excess, and then the oxygen is being put into this chemical infuser. The oxygen and the sulfur dioxide is being put together to make sulfur trioxide, which is this side over here. On this side, we're getting water vapor from this rotary condensator. This is then being put out as sulfuric acid. The sulfuric acid is in the chemical dissolution chamber with fluorite from here, making the hydrofluoric acid, which is then getting put into there, and then making the fissile fuel. Fissile fuel then get hooked up into the reactor. Woo! That was a lot. And now, I don't really need to make this big. This is the biggest you can make it. I am putting this all into one building, which is going to be a surprise. So let's go into my survival world and let's start building the reactor and the turbine. All right, we're back in my survival world, and I want to put these machines kind of over in this area, kind of farther back, just because it's going to be making nuclear waste. And in case anything happens, I don't want nuclear waste spreading into my castle. So I kind of want to put it far, but I do want to put it within viewing distance. And I thought about it because this produces so much nuclear waste. Nuclear waste is a very important part of getting this mech suit. I have decided to put the whole entire building and all of its components into a giant waste barrel. That's correct, a giant waste barrel. It's just gonna be sitting right on this little island right here. And that means we're gonna have to get rid of our Gaia arena, which is fine. We don't need her no more, or him. That makes such a cool noise. All right, now we just need to level this out so it can hold all of the machinery and everything. Now, this build is gonna be kind of big, so I need to clear out and flatten this entire area so I can shove a big radioactive barrel smack dab in the middle of it. All right, that should be a big enough area. I say should be, it is. I already measured it out and everything. And I marked a few spots with cobblestone just so I know where my machines are going, because they have to go in a specific spot just so everything is as even in OCD. Anywho, with that step done, we can now start building our reactor and our turbine. As you can see, a lot of stuff in here. Now, we are not going to be using the schematic cannon to build these machines. The only thing I'm going to be using the schematic cannon for is building the barrel around it, because I don't have that type of time and I have machines that can do that for me. But I do want to show you a quick assembly of this when I'm done with it. So let's get started working down the list. It's going to be a lot to get. So I just like, look at that reactor glass, 1200. Like, come on. I will quickly go and get that and fill up my backpack with the appropriate stuff. And bippity, a boppity, a boo. All right. So I hope we have all the items we're going to need to build the fission reactor and the turbine. So let's go ahead and get started with the easier of the two, the fission reactor. That is the frame. It is 18 by 18. And now what we do is we take this reactor glass and we basically want to fill in the sides and the top, just like that. Now, obviously it is not complete. The next important thing are these fission fuel assemblies, and to top them off, the control rod assemblies. Beautiful. That's, oh my god. Oh god. Oh, I need to go sleep. That is the gist of it, I believe. We need fission reactor ports and logic adapters. Now, we don't need the logic adapters. They just help for reasons that I will show you in a second. But we do need some ports. We need a port for waste, which will go in the back here, just like that. Oh, and as you can see, we only needed one port and now our fission reactor is up. You don't want to activate it yet or the temperature will go up and this will explode. But if we get our configurator and we put this to output waste, that will then hook up to all of the radioactive barrels, which I will put deep in the ground. Not really deep. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to need one up here to output the steam. So I'm going to put a port here. This is important. This will be outputting coolant, should be blue, yes. I'm gonna need one of these for the water, so we're just gonna go ahead and put the water one way up here, and I'll show you why once I build the other thing. And then, oopsies, need that. And then we're gonna need an input for the fissile fuel. The fissile fuel, I'm going to just feed in right at the top here. All right, and that is the reactor done. As you can see, we have a max burn rate of 936 MB MB/Ts, millibuckets, megabuckets per tick. I don't know the difference. So these fission reactor logic adapters, what they do is they transmit a redstone signal based on the state of the reactor. I'm not going to keep these dirt. I'm just going to do these for now like that. And that's where these industrial alarms come in. We set one of these to each one. So if it reaches a high temperature, if there's excess waste, which means if the waste gets too full, damage critical, if there's too much damage to the system, or insufficient fuel. Yes, the insufficient fuel will be going off. That's the sound it makes. We're just not gonna do that right now. Anyways, while we are setting up the other thing, whatever the other thing is called that I can't think of right now, the turbine, while you're setting up the turbine, I'm going to let this go ahead and fill with water because this is going to take some time to fill with water. As you can see, we should be seeing it come up here pretty soon. There it is. So because you can make this 18 by 18 by 18. Same thing with the turbine. The only problem is the turbine has a spinning blade in the middle of it. So if I were to build this 18 by 18, the blade would be off-centered by 1. And my OCD cannot handle that. Even though it's barely ever going to be seen again, and even next to it, you probably wouldn't be able to notice. I would notice, and that's no bueno. So I'm just going to make this 17 by 17. Doesn't really matter. Don't really need it this big anyways. Still doing it this big, but just 17 by 17. Anyways, now that we got that out of the way, time to build. All right, so before we build the sides, I want to build the blades and the rotor. I want to build the rotor first. So we're just gonna find the center, which I believe is that one. Dang it, I missed. I was close. It's this one. We'll build that 10 up. 10 is the highest you can go. And easy peasy, just shove all these on, just like that. Ta-da! And now this needs is the rotational complex, and this goes on the top just like that. Bop. So with that, we can actually build the sides up to 18, just like that. And now this is a little bit different because on top of the rotational complex, we need electromagnetic coils. Now the coils have to do with how many blades you have on your rotor. So I have 20 and each one can support 4. You guys can do the 3rd grade math, that's 5. And now we need to put the saturated condensers on the rows of, this going out. And I'm gonna wanna build it out almost all the way to the end. I don't want to extend all the way because that is going to start my vents. And then these vents are what's going to cover up the top portion of this area. So I'll just go ahead and put in some vents here. All right, and that's going to make putting in the condensators a lot easier.
Just go bop, 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 bop. Bop, bop, bop. Oopsies. Bop, 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 bop.
Just like that. And then with these, build these up on the walls like that. And then that way, this will also make it easier because I'm going to do a second row of these saturating condensers. These saturated condensers are what turns the steam into the water and fills this area up with water. And the vents are what dissipates the water. And the more vents we have, the better. And the more saturation complex we have. Again, there's a bunch of math that goes with it. That I just don't feel like going through right now. All right, I think we're almost ready. Let me just grab my structural glass. This is different than the reactor glass. Jesus Christ, are you really going that slow? Oh, please tell me I made enough structural glass. How did I not make enough structural glass? All right. All the structural glass is in place, and I did forget that I needed a layer of these pressure dispersers at the same height as the rotational complex. We just need a layer of those. Let's cover those up with the vent, and with that, we now have an industrial turbine, max flow 18.7 million megabuckets per tick. Now, this is still filling up slowly but surely. Hey Shirley. But while that does that needs a little more. We can hook up all of the mechanical pipes that we need and the pressure tubes. Pressure tubes are easy because this just needs to go from here all the way down and then make its way all the way back up, all the way back up to there. That way, once all the steam is generated, the steam is then put into here. And then all we need to do is put all of the mechanical pipes on. All right, we can get started on that. All right, if I'm not mistaken, which I probably am, this should be enough pipage to get all the water through, and I'm left over with 2. So to make this even, I am just gonna put these little extra ones here, and on the other side over here, just so my OCD is satisfied. Boom, just like that. Now I could put these on the roof, but I actually kind of like how they look on the sides, and that will eventually be put into here. This is actually getting pretty full, which is good. Once this is, we're just about ready to activate this. The only thing that I need to do now before we activate it, that'll output all the power and put it to no use until I need usage. And this is just about full, I think. So, moment of truth. Oh, we need, oh God, nuclear waste. We need waste away. This is just testing. Okay. I think we're ready. Are you ready? Oh, I don't have my hazmat suit on. I'm not ready. There we go. Are you ready? I'm so slow now. This is normal Minecraft speed. Anyways, let me put everything in my backpack. Okay. Activate. I'm gonna turn the burn rate up to 100. Is it because I don't have any Fissile Fuel yet? I was really hoping that would turn on and everything. I definitely think I need, because it makes nuclear waste and steam, I think I need to do Fissile Fuel. But that is okay. We can do that. But first, gross. All right, that is the reactor and the turbine casing setup. Now, before we make the Fissile Fuel thing, we need to actually encase this in the barrel that it is meant to be encased with. Are you guys ready to see this? Ba-bam! That's so cool. It's like, just look at that. That's so cool. As you can see, inside at the bottom is going to be our reactor and our turbine. And then we move up here to this, and this is where all the water is going to come down. This is where you enter as well. And then the next floor is going to be where the Fissile Fuel and the HDPE pellets are being made. And this final floor is where the lithium thing that we need it's gonna be 4 of them because I'm an idiot and realized that I only needed 2, but that's okay. That's okay. You know, we'll work with 4. We're gonna need a lot of materials for this, mainly 11,290 yellow concrete. So I'm gonna get started working on getting everything I need for this barrel, and then we can get it built. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be so much. Ha 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 ha! It's doing the thing. Oh my goodness! I also need black concrete at some point as well. All right, that is, it's so massive. That is my radioactive waste barrel. You can just see it in the distance. That's so funny. That is incredible. All right, with that being built, that concludes part 1 of getting my mecha suit. I'm gonna split this video into 2 parts because I feel like all that took a while, so I don't wanna make the video too long. So stay tuned for part 2 of getting my mecha suit, where we build the rest of the machines needed and actually assembling and upgrading the mecha suit. But if you enjoyed this episode and if you enjoy my waste barrel build, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for part 2. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.